So, good morning everybody. Mark here for the first Good Morning Amsterdam in ages. So welcome everybody. It's a beautiful morning. Looking at me. Check it out. Hello Donna and Susan and Trisha. So we're going to walk and cycle this morning looking for beautiful reflections, and this is one of my favorite canals for reflections, the Brouwersgracht. And that boat in the distance is the one I photographed it in so many different seasons. And it's looking great this morning. So there's nothing like a windless morning to enjoy Amsterdam. Good morning, Rose. It's quite nice without the cars on this canal. You get a feeling of what the canals used to look like before they were cursed with car parking. Hi, Laurie. I was going to start on that bridge there, but there was a Dutch man and woman stopped there to talk to each other on the bicycle. And I think they woke up the whole neighborhood. They were so loud. I just heard them shouting goodbye to each other. Maybe they've been out clubbing all night. Hello, Tony. I'm so glad you saw this tour. I know you like these Good Morning Amsterdams. Great you noticed it. Here is the barge I love photographing so much. The houseboat. I haven't done any of these this summer because we had such a lousy summer. There was hardly a summer worth talking about. But anyway, we've had a wonderful little warm patch now in September. And it's sunflower time all over the city. Susan, I will be posting your slicey off to you today. Let's just have a quick look down the Keizersgracht before I jump on the bike and ride. Oh, I can feel a bit of wind picking up actually. It was meant to be zero wind, but there is actually a bit. Okay, just for those of you who don't know my bike, let me show it to you. Whoops. It's the one I can kind of manhandle around with one hand, so I can hold the gimbal in the other. Here it is. Yeah, thank you, Susan. I slept well last night because I had 2 nights of lousy sleep because it was so hot. And yeah, I just had a very nice long rest last night. It was great. Okay, here goes. And we are on the wings of a bike. I've done this for ages. What fun! And I realize that my favorite reflection, of course, there's building works happening on. Oopsie. Got morning rush hour here. Ah, here you go. A bit of building work, but hey, can't help that. And this is Papen Eiland. And what that means is like popes or papal island, because there were quite a lot of Catholic churches around here. And that was before and also during the Reformation period when you couldn't be openly Catholic. Various hidden churches around here. And there you go, the canal's being actually used as a building site to rebuild the wall. Okay, so where should we go is the question. The reflections are just as I'd hoped. Of course, there are no, it's not sunny. That's okay. Grey is also pretty. Your feet are on the handlebars. Okay, let's work out where to go. I'm not going to go down the Prinsengracht because you can't see so much here. There's all the cars in the way. I mean, the houseboats in the way. So let's go back down here. So we were here just a moment ago. I think I'll go one further. This is nice, it's a little reflection of the Melkmeisjebrug, Milkmaid's Bridge here. Feels like I'm speeding. Yeah, I think it always looks a bit quicker than it really is on the video streams, and I think it always looks but things are closer than they really are as well. I was actually going to go and start up yonder, but I couldn't because there was a truck there that started unloading a scaffold. So it's very noisy. We'll cycle by, but that was up there. Yes, Donna, it's very nice. Nice to have you live on a tour with me. Wow, very cool. Oh, I love it. Beautiful. And of course, this is early enough to be before the canal boats. You know, those commercial canal boats come along all day and they ruin the reflection. So they haven't started work yet. It's a lot more serene in the early mornings, Amsterdam, isn't it? I really should have been doing this at like 6 a.m. in the height of the summer. But yeah, what summer? Yeah, so here's the scaffold being assembled. So I'm just heading to the other side of the single. And then that side we should get slightly better reflections because the sun is, well, the glow from the, oopsie daisy, don't forget this one. Oh, very remiss of me. I need to be over there and show you the reflection. Oh, sorry. Oh. Right, there is this nice view from here. Beautiful. Okay. So there's the round Lutheran church and the single canal where I was yesterday on Detailed Amsterdam 21. So I see some comments about Prism, but it seems to be working very well. I'm very, very happy with it. And I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, obviously it's handling the slightly quicker movement on the bicycle, which is just great. And here we go. So nice and still. Oh, I just said so nice and still, and here comes a working boat, of course. Please don't... Oh, they're coming this way. That means I got to get in front of them before they ruin the, the reflections. Okay. Okay. The race is on. It's a bit cluttered. Oh, cluttered on this canal with all the cars parked. But anyway, here comes the boat. Right, Forest, right. And here is the catio of the opposing boat. There's some of the kiddies. Okay, sorry if I'm flinging you around a bit fast. I want to get away in front of the boat again. Okay. And Ralph. Even I can't fit through there. Hello, Natasha. Thank you. Oh, just. And here we have the pumpkin garden. It's the neighborhood garden here that we saw yesterday. It's looking so beautiful. I met the guy who does it yesterday after my tour. It was really nice people. We sat and had a chit chat on the quayside. Oh yes, my finger has healed remarkably well. Although I I don't have very good feeling in the end of it. Hey, look, it's a Ukrainian flower bike. Wonderful. Glory to Ukraine. Let's hope. I think they're making progress at the moment, the Ukrainians. Good on them. Okay, so it's picking up a bit of wind here, and that's because there's a little breeze coming from the south, which means that I'm going to zip down. It's a couple of blocks where the canal curves around, and that should hopefully give us a bit of shelter and some nice reflections. There's a little Blaubergval canal here. And actually this is where I entered the tour yesterday, but let's zip yonder. Such a good thing having these little Amsterdammetjes, they're called, to stop the cars parking on the sidewalk, but it also means that on a bicycle there's no curb, so you can just zip onto the sidewalk like this to let a car by. Very, very handy. How many canals are there in Amsterdam? Oh gosh, I forget now. Like one of those numbers I forget. I think it's about 100 kilometers in total, 70 miles if my memory serves me well. Lots. It's all very bumpy ground here. All along Single. What do you think of that beautiful architecture over there? When you see the architectural books from that period, I think it was 80s. Oh, they don't half wax lyrical about it. How wonderfully it fitted in with the other buildings on the canal belt. So I'm just going to put you the holder now. As I cross a busy road, so I'm not got both hands on the steering wheel. Steering wheel, it's not a wheel, you know what I mean. Steer. Come on. Okay. And bump, bump, bump. Oh, there we go. Oh, almost. Oh, let's go down the other side of it. Oops. Oh. One thing about steering with one hand on these little bikes is they can do very unpredictable things sometimes. Okay, so where we've come from. Oh! My pedal just hit the curb. Right. Here we go. This is how we like it, with no cars to block the view. Is it 165 canals? That sounds about right. I knew there was like, I think I've heard a 70 somewhere, and I couldn't remember. I may have heard 170, but then I've also heard 70 miles. So yeah, lots is the answer. And 5% of the canal walls are in imminent danger of collapse. So that means, on the basis that there's 100 kilometers of canals, that's 200 kilometers of canal walls, and 5% of that is 10 kilometers. So I don't know how many that is in miles, maybe 6.5 miles needs to be rebuilt, which is a hell of a job. And it's going to just be an ongoing thing for the next 30 years. Whew. So, the city is waking up. Let's pop down this side for one block. As the scooter goes by, I'm picking up my new scooter today. My last one died. So great excitement. Now, oh, it's pretty. Oops. Oh, wow. Well, look at, I'll show you this lovely boat. Let's do a close up on the boat. First, just have a look down the canal. And, hey, I forgot yesterday on the tour. But if you can like this, apparently it's important. I'm not entirely sure why. Yeah. Susan, it is electric, but it's not very electric. It's a tiny, petty little battery, and yeah, it is quite good exercise. It's a bit of a shock first thing in the morning, I must say. I can feel I'm sweating because it's pretty warm. Okay, now let's see. We could go. Oops. This way. Oh, I think, did I zoom in? Is it zoomed in? Let me just check. Yeah, it's zoomed in. I thought, wow, I don't have very much reflection in the shot. Okay. So here's the Kruitberg church over here. This is where I thought we might have some sheltered reflections. We certainly do. It's just that I'm so close to them. Tony, I used to always use this bike. Oh, that's a pretty view. On these tours, generally use this bike. If I had to do any distance, I'd use the bigger one. Just because this one's so slow. So there you go. And look at the dainty little battery here. And the teeny weeny little wheels. I mean, to give you an idea of how big the wheels are, here's my hand. Okay, so. So let's see. I could dip into the Herengracht. Let's do that maybe. Maybe I should try and get some structure to this. Human cycling. Okay. Oops. And here we go. Yeah, I know. Crazy tiny wheels. So yeah, when I take this bike sometimes, if I'm going to be doing something, well, hang on, my mic's all caught up. Let me just fix that. It's often best to take this bike on a tram. And hang on a second. Oh shoot. Okay. Oops. Okay. Okay. There you go. My harness seemed to pass the police test. Oops. Forklift truck looking ominous. Okay, let's pop into the fancier part of the Herengracht, Gentleman's Canal. Actually, it seemed like a good idea to have a look from the bridge. Oh, look at this wonderful kind of stone creature here. There's a tram, seeing how slowly it can go. Oi, oi, oi. Fine, I'll go round. Beautiful. Actually, complete change of plan. Let's go up the Leidsegracht. Maybe. So what time is it now? It's about 8:30. Amsterdam's a fairly slow starting city generally. But then there are a whole bunch of people who work an earlier life. It's easy as a tour guide just to assume that everyone's on holiday all the time, because it tends to be the people that I meet. So, oh, Susan, those tram and train lines are lethal on bicycles. I've definitely come a cropper. I can only think I've actually only done it really once on tram lines that I've fallen hard because you only tend to do it once because of the consequences. I didn't break my wrist like your son, but it hurts. And yeah, the canal boat's waking up. It was wonderful. With COVID, there were no commercial boats on the water, so we had these beautiful reflections the whole day. And you really got a feel for what the city must have looked like in centuries past, when there was a lot less boat traffic, and how much more just incredibly beautiful everything would have been because of that. The bicycle helmets. Nobody wears bicycle helmets, and this is for a reason. And let me explain in more detail. So, there are a whole lot of different contributing factors, okay? So here goes. I'll get off my bike for this one. Right from the 1970s, there's been a big drive to... Are they going to come this way and ruin our reflection? Of course they are. Since the 1970s, there's been a big drive to make cycling safer, and that started with bicycle lanes. So a lot of the actual designated roads or lanes for bicycles. So that's made it much safer. And also with the cars look out for bikes, because even if there's an accident between a car and a bike, even if the bicycle's 100% in the wrong, the car is still partly liable. So cars are actively looking out for for bikes and anticipating the things that they do wrong. So that makes them safer still. Another thing is it's a fairly upright form of cycling, as you've seen. Like, look at this person going by. She's cycling upright, she's got her phone in one hand, checking her messages, which you're not meant to do. But it is pretty safe. Another element is critical mass. So you need to have a critical mass of cyclists on the road. The more cyclists you have, the safer everybody is, because the cars are always hyper aware of them. So anything that has a negative impact on cyclist numbers will have a negative impact on safety. Now, Dutch men particularly have a long-standing love affair with hair gel. So if you don't know what to buy a Dutch guy for his birthday or Christmas, just buy him a big pot of gel and you'll be friends for life. So you can't put gel in your hair and then go cycling with a helmet on. Just doesn't work. I mean, perhaps also you've done your hair for work, and then you don't want to get helmet head, so there's that element too. Besides, if you tell Dutch people to wear helmets, they don't believe there's a need for it because there's not so many head injuries, and they'll just resent it and not do it and maybe not cycle, and all these things will have a negative impact on critical mass of cyclists on the roads. Those are some, oh look, it's getting a blue sky. Those are some of the elements to throw into the pot when talking about helmet use or not. And the other thing is we have maybe 500,000 cyclists in the city every single day. Can you imagine 500,000 bicycle helmets that we've suddenly got to have room for wherever we go, because you can't lock them to the bike because they could just cut the strap or something. So lots of different things. You will notice with people riding racing bikes, so the much faster ones, that certainly in the countryside, that they actually wear helmets by choice, because it would be silly not to, because they're hunched over forwards and are much more vulnerable in that way. There is a move to say people on e-bikes should wear helmets, which is a bit annoying to some e-bike cyclists. I'll tell you why. There are indeed more accidents with people riding e-bikes. So you think, oh yeah, maybe helmets are a good idea for them. However, the injuries from those accidents are generally shoulder injuries. So it seems to me we should all be perhaps wearing sort of dynasty 1980s shoulder pads and just leave the helmets at home. Okay, I think I've done that question now. But thanks for the question. Let us see. I think I'm gonna. Oh, please don't stop me, policeman. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, well that is a very tolerant policeman, because I was actually cycling with the gimbal in my hands. I could have got a fine for that. But that is beautiful. Phew. Gorgeous. Let's zoom in a bit. Actually, coming back to the helmet story, I think there is a strong case to be made that children up until the age of 12 should be wearing helmets, but that's actually not required by law. Okay. Hey, oops, I'm going to show you something I spoke about. Oh gosh, it's difficult to reverse with this bicycle up a hill. Let me just dump it there. Oops, okay, oh, okay. Let's see, which canal are we now? Kaisers. Oh, we're too far down. I was going to show you the sight lines up. Hey, look, bit of awesome color in those leaves. I've got that to look forward to. Okay, and here we go. Off to the Prinsengracht. Do children learn to cycle at school? I don't, yeah, you know, now you've got me, because I didn't grow up here. Children just seem to learn to cycle before. Oh, people seem to cycle before school. They start on those little kind of things that look like bicycles, but they just push themselves along with their feet. That's the first step. And then I think it's really more parents that teach them. Maybe they learn the rules of the road at school. Or maybe they don't, because actually Dutch cyclists don't seem to obey the rules of the road much at all. Of course, people are on bicycles as from babies. I mean, here's a baby seat. And I mean, they're something for the kid to play with, look. So they literally, Dutch kids spend their lives on bikes. So it's just such second nature, you know. Just the feeling of it. There's no thought involved. It's just an instinctive thing. Wow, look at the bicycle traffic here. I can't even get across the road. Crazy. Wow. Okay. Dip my toe into the Jordan district. Oops. Okay. Don't see many scooters here. I'm not sure what you mean by scooters, Donna, because there are two different types of scooters. There's the ones that are like, you know, little Vespas, which is like a mini motorbike, but with a flatter seat. And then there's the little two-wheel things that people call scooters as well. Like, so I'm not sure can you let me know which ones you mean? Do you mean the little ones that you stand on? Yes, they have scooters like that in London. You know, I love them. I was in Tel Aviv in February, and that's the first time I ever used one. Man, it was wonderful. I could use it with my Uber app, and it was just so much fun. And I got around so quickly. You know, the first day I had to walk, I walked the entire length of that beachfront. It just about killed me. I was sick as well. And then I just got this scooter and it just zipped around. They were fantastic, so much fun. I mean, I realized they possibly get in the way and they park in inconvenient places. They haven't caught on in Amsterdam, and I'll tell you why. First of all, the roads are too bumpy. Definitely too bumpy. And besides that, people here are so militant. Like when, some time ago, there were bikes that you could use with a card called O-Bike. Incredibly handy. They were just all over the place. You could see on an app where they were. So for me, it was fantastic. I could finish a walking tour in one part of town, grab an O-Bike for 15 or 10 minutes for almost no money at all, and then just cycle back to where my actual bike was. And I mean, it's just wonderful. But what do Dutch people do, Amsterdam people do rather, is they threw them in the canals because they didn't like them. Even though the whole concept of free bikes began here with the white bikes of Amsterdam in the 1960s, there's a real sort of resistance to change, I would say, in some ways here, oddly enough. It's weird. I'm certainly more likely to embrace new things and give them a go and see where it goes and see if it serves a need, and if there are problems, iron those out. But you get a lot of stick in the mud people here who just you don't want any change. Yeah, so yeah, we've got to deal with that everywhere probably. Okay. Okay, managed to navigate all the bicycles, and let's pop up a block. Whee! Earning my breakfast. Yeah. Here's the Houseboat Museum, which is really interesting inside. And show you from the bridge, because let's face it, these views seem to be way better from bridges. Okay. I've noticed that the purple flowers, normally I associate purple flowers with the earlier part of spring, I think it is. And I don't know if it's just because the seasons are all messed up, but all my purple ones are in bloom again as well. My lavender's having a second go after I cut it back, after the first batch died. Loads of other purple ones also. Whew. So, the Princess Canal. Let's pop up another block. And okay. And across the way there, the yard. Oh, where am I? Yes, we're on Princeton again. Look at this weird boat. What an odd thing. Very strange. But lots of room inside though. Not very pretty. om 11 uur s'avonds weg. There's a nice boat with some flowers on it. Very pretty. Check that out. Oopsie. Oh. I'm not sure how many years it's going to be until we see the Western Church Tower again, but quite some, I would imagine. So. Let us see. Since I probably won't do this again this year, I think I'll carry on a little and dip into some of my favorite canals just further north in the Jordan district here. I'm just going to pop you back on the shot, on the holder. So jiggling you around like that. Okay, you guys. That lady just walking into the street without looking. So, here we go. Oops, no, too much of a step. I need to walk down this one. Oop, okay. Okay. Here goes. Still in the holder. Da 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 dee. Oh. Okay. Right, here we go. Here is the Bloemgracht, the flower canal, looking very flowery. And there you go. The Anne Frank house across there. Here's one of Warren's flower bikes with his motto, "Love is the cure." And let's pop up to the Egelantiersgracht, and I think I'm going to go cut across through this little Jordan street. Oh yo. That was an unexpected stop on a hill. Right. Am I going the wrong way in a one-way street? No. First of all, this street here is actually a one-way coming the way I was going. There's a no entry sign for cars. But bikes can go both ways. Even when it's a one-way for a car, generally bikes can actually go down the street in the wrong direction. It's just another one of those things which is making things as easy as possible for cyclists to encourage more and more people to cycle. Yeah, I love this canal. It's a great part of the district. Of course, super gentrified. But that's okay. There are some benefits to gentrification. Like it's all neat and tidy. Along the canal, you can definitely, as a cyclist, it's absolutely legal to cycle against the traffic. Yeah. Here, for example, I shouldn't be, but I don't see any traffic. All these gardens here. Oh, excuse me. Absolutely, bikes rule. Except when there's a car. So you just kind of pull over. Would I recognize my bike once foreign is decorated? Sure, absolutely. Definitely. Oh, I should have shown you that cycle sign. I'll show you the next one. What day is it today? Tuesday. I love all these old warehouses here, they're so pretty. Okay, here is what I mean about the cycling things. Okay, you see it says there, which is for that street there, it says no entry, one way. Uitgezonderd fietsen. Oh yay, actually beside me. Uitgezonderd fietsen. So it's a one way, it's a no entry except for bikes. So bikes can enter, is what that sign means. Where are you, Natasha? That is still Monday. Monday for you. This is where the Northern Market was yesterday, the Noordermarkt. Okay, I just remembered I can plant a slicey here. It's one of my favorite slicey planting places. What's that for a mouthful? Slicey planting places. Ugarel. So, look how pretty these flowers are. Okay, Vancouver, wow. So, okay. Phew. Whew. Puffing and panting. So, thanks for joining me, everybody. Let me do what? Yes, I do. Da 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 da. Got a slicey. And oh look, here's the plastic made from Canal plastic. All right. So they go around with nets, and they take. So I'm going to swing you around really quickly so I can show you with nets. And then generally companies do these outings here, and they pick up plastic out of the canals, and then they make those actual boats with canal plastic. It's really lovely. Okay, I'm now going to plant a slicey. Plant a slicey. Oh God, there's such a grumpy old guy behind me. There's a very elderly Dutch man who was walking along the sidewalk with his bike, and she rings the bell at me and says, "Get to the side," when I'm standing on the sidewalk. Okay, there you go. Actually, no, I want him to be right, the really pretty flower. Okay. So there you go, there's a slicey. Great, okay, well, thanks for joining, everybody. And I'm going to cycle off home and have some breakfast. So, bye, everybody. It's a pleasure, Tony. Thank you for joining, and I'm so glad you saw it on the page. And 15 of you on board. If I could just remind you to like the video, that'd be cool. And yeah. So, bye all.